What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Shed Grooming Studios YouTube channel. Today we have for you a little mid to high skin fade tutorial. I'm going to walk you guys through exactly what it's going to take to achieve this fade, talk to you a little bit about the tools involved in achieving this fade. So right now you can see the before, you'll see the after, and everything in between. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what you think, and here we go. We got the outliner, the cordless detailers right now, just setting in that initial skin line, and we're gonna go from there. So I'm just gonna work my way right around, set that line in, and then I'm gonna clear everything right underneath that line. I don't know about you guys, but clearing that hair out at the very bottom there is extremely satisfying, especially when you have a really banging trimmer like the cordless LI. This thing is sick. I mean, you guys can see it's just ripping right through. Absolutely no problem there. It's not catching whatsoever. It's a really powerful trimmer. Thing is phenomenal. Go ahead now, slap my one guard on and just set in that second guideline now. It's going to be about 2 inches wide. About 1.5 inches, 2 inches wide. I really want to stretch that fade out and give myself enough room to blend. So once again, just working from one end to the other. I don't typically like to fade out one side of the hair and then move on to the next. I like to keep my work uniform, so I work right around the head with whatever it is I'm doing. I'm going to take my number 2 guard now and just start removing some of that bulk. Just clear a nice pathway for me, make the work a little bit more visible for myself. I don't like to work with a lot of weight, so that's why I'm just going ahead and removing it out of the way, and then just gonna work my fade downwards. I'm not necessarily working my way up, at least not right now. I'm gonna work that fade down, so I'm gonna start blending down. So I'm going from my biggest guards down to the shortest part. You want to make sure you're real thorough here, and just you're tracing over your work. Make sure it's nice and clear. Gonna go in now with the 1.5 guard, start hitting that second guideline I had created there. As you can see, that line is just disappearing before your eyes. It's clearing out real nice. As I move up the head, I'm just slightly opening that lever as well, and just blending out any dark spots I see. So just, again, working from one side to the other. I find a nice X formation really helps. You guys can see I'm going one side and then I'm hitting it the other way too. So sort of making that X. You almost rarely ever see me sort of blending up. It's usually blending on an angle. So I got the half guard on, the wall premium guard, and just working that line. Working in very small sections and not traveling too far up the head. Right now the lever is closed, so it's a true half guard. So I'm keeping it nice and tight. Again, just really working that line. As I travel up the fade, obviously that lever is going to start opening up, making it closer to a 1, because I'm moving into that depth. So I don't want to continue to raise my fade too short high up. So that's why I'm just opening that lever and just blending out as I'm going around. So you can see right now I finished off with that half guard. I'm working it with the number 1 guard, just traveling up. Again, just basically just detail work at this point in time. Just fading out any dark spots I see. I really want that fade to look extremely buttery, very blurry, just nice and smooth. So here you'll see me, switch between my 1.5 guard to my 1 guard to even my half guard. So all 3 guards, half guard to the 1 to the 1.5. Really, whatever it's going to take to get that fade nice and soft, nice and blurry. Right now I just have the clipper closed, and I'm again just working that initial line I put in with the outliner, and you can see that fade is really starting to pop now. It's really starting to take shape. And again, as I work up that fade, the lever starts to open up because it's becoming more of a number 1 from that 0. When the clipper's closed, obviously, as you open it up, it becomes closer to a 1. So there you go, just working from one side to the other, just fading out that line. I may have mentioned it before. If you guys have any questions, any concerns about what I'm doing, if it's moving too fast, if you guys need me to be a bit more descriptive, leave it in the comments. Let me know exactly what you guys think, so I can make these things better for you. This is really only our second video doing something like this, so let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see me change. If you guys like it, awesome, but feel free to share. So take notice, as I'm working closer to that initial line that I set in with the outliner, my elevation is real low, meaning the blade of the clipper is flat against his head. As I travel up that fade, the elevation on my clipper changes. It starts to rise, therefore only the very edge of the teeth are meeting his head. So basically I'm creating a longer guard without actually even using a guard. It's just changing my elevation. So it's a little hack for you guys to sort of be a bit more efficient with your time. So again, you can see this fade, it's really starting to pop, it's really starting to take shape. Really all that's left now is to blend out his sideburn, address that dark ring around his head, cut the top of his hair, and outline it. Alright guys, so here you can see I'm starting to cut the top of the hair. Right now I'm just working in horizontal sections. I've already established, how much I'm going to be taking off Jason's hair at the beginning of this haircut when we did our consultation. So, he said he wanted just enough hair left on the top for him to part over to the right hand side. So I'm just going in, cutting it right down to finger length. You can see I'm starting to cut at the round of his head there, right where that last line is, that dark heavy line there. So I'm just working my way right around, cutting it down to finger length, and you'll see I'm doing that right around the head, and make sure it's nice and even. And then I'm going to cross check it by going vertically. You guys may or may not already know this, but little trick is you never want to cut past your knuckle. Reason being is you don't want to cut the webbing in your fingers. It's not fun, guys. You do that and that is never going to stop bleeding. So just be careful, try not to cut past your knuckle. Always be safe with that. For this part of the top there, I'm using my Mizutani Ichi-Nino San No. 4 thinning shears. They take off about 10% weight out of the hair, so you can imagine 10% is not a whole lot, but that is actually perfect for these scissors and this part of the haircut. I'm just finishing up the fade right now, just removing any, unnecessary, unwanted weight out of the cut in the top there. It just, really lightly blends and softens weight so that fade can look really nice and smooth. That transition is going to be really seamless, which is exactly what the scissors are going to do. I do recommend, if you'd like to purchase a pair of these scissors, they are phenomenal. They are not cheap by any means, so if you're just starting out, don't go dropping a whole bunch of money on them. Start off small and work your way up to something of this caliber. These scissors are, I'd say, for more advanced barbers and stylists, so don't get ahead of yourself. Definitely work your way up to these. Now I'm going to go in and just start to outline the front of his hair. So I like, again, I might have mentioned this before, but I like to keep my outlines pretty natural for the most part. I don't like to push anything back. I like to keep them pretty true to, where the individual's hairline should be. Pretty natural, just working with it, but trying to keep it as sharp as humanly possible. So you guys can see exactly what it is I'm doing. I'm just knocking off those messy hairs, or at least the hairs that make that hairline look messy. So just tightening up that corner. So I like to comb the hairs down and forward, sharpen them up at the outliner, and again, the front of his hair is fairly long, so I'm going to comb it down at the very end and just take my scissors and do another final outline with the scissors. So right now, just using the trimmers, getting that nice defined sharpness that I can't really achieve with the scissors. So I'm just going in with the trimmers, really getting at those corners. You can see that outline is starting to pop. That fade is really starting to come to life, and it's looking really good. Now I'm just taking my outliner, placing it flat against his head there, and what I'm doing is I'm just hovering it on the outside of his forehead there, just knocking off all of the little hairs that insist on shooting out in the front of his head. I'm just kind of hovering my outliner there and knocking those off there. Just, now I'm just refining exactly what I did, you can see that outline is really starting to take shape there. Here's a little clever way of getting the loops of someone's mask out of the way, so you can actually fade in piece. That's a little hair bungee cord that you can buy on Amazon. That thing is phenomenal. It's just a little hack I picked up on Instagram, so feel free to use that, guys. Right now I'm just blending in sideburns, the rest of that fade. You would have seen this earlier in the beard tutorial I posted a couple days ago. So same exact steps, just going with the grain, then against the grain. Right now I got the half guard on. I'm gonna work my way down to that one guard and just blend that sideburn. He's not getting his beard done today, we're just doing the haircut, so you guys can see I'm just gonna gently blend that sideburn into that fade there. So half guard to the one, and eventually that one guard's gonna come off and it's gonna be closed, as you guys can see right now, and just fading out that little excess bit of hair that's there. Same thing on the other side now, so just repeat those steps exactly. You guys have it. I'm just using the detailer, just finishing up that other sideburn there, just making sure it's nice and polished. I'm going to take my Wahl 5-star foil shaver and just buff away any hair that the outliner might have left. I'm going to comb the hairs down and just hit them with my scissors, make sure that hairline is nice and tight. And that's everything, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Please make sure you subscribe to see more content from us. And again, if you'd like to see anything in particular, leave it in the comments. Till next time, guys, take it easy.